Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to be doing a review of a deck that was sent to me by the author, and the author is Rosy Aronson, and she reached out to me through email and asked me if I would like to review her deck. I did want to let you guys know that this was sent to me. I did not spend any money on this. It was gifted to me by the author who created it and wrote it, and I am very thankful for that. But with that said, I wanted to still give an honest review because I think it might be helpful to anybody who's looking to get a new deck or find out more about this deck. So just know that even though this was sent to me and I didn't spend any money on it, I am going to give my honest review, and I'm going to be honest about what I like and dislike and such. So don't worry about me like sugarcoating it or anything like that. Everything I say in this video is going to be an honest review of it. She sent a tiny organza bag that can fit the deck in it, as well as 3 postcards of pictures from the deck, and I thought that was really nice. I don't know how much I'll use the bag since I tend to keep them in the box, but it is really nice to have as an option, and it will fit a lot of my other decks, so that's really nice too. In the package, she also included the guidebook and the deck. So the deck is a 64 card deck, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I wanted to show you guys the guidebook because this is an optional add-on. It does have a guidebook in here like a standard deck would, but this is an optional guidebook, so if you have trouble reading like small print, it might be really helpful to have the book, because this is an actual like regular sized paperback book, and it's got a lot of information in here. It has the details about every card and such, and she said in her book that she's based this card deck off of a book series by Richard Rudd, and it's called Gene Keys, and she was inspired by it to make this deck. So she does recommend that you read Gene Keys or know about it before using this deck, but it's not a requirement, it just helps. And even if you haven't read it like I haven't, she includes some information about what he goes over in the book that really inspired her, so that's really helpful as well. Another thing that I really like is that she kind of talks about, you know, her inspiration for the deck and stuff like that, and in the back she has some card spreads and suggestions, and I really like it when authors do this, especially when they make it their own, because I really like trying new spreads, and sometimes it can be really helpful to try new spreads, and especially when they fit for, you know, relationship spreads and stuff like that. But the spreads in here I thought were really cool ones. I've never seen them before for the most part. Like the life flower spread is really cool, how you know, spread it out like a flower. The relationship spread is really cool. I've tried this one and it was pretty accurate. I really like the family or group spread. So like if you want to look into your group of friends or your family, that's really awesome. The genealogy spread I thought was a really cool add-on, because you know, how cool is it to kind of do, and the nice thing about these and having other spreads is you can use them with any card deck you have, so it's not just meant to be used with this one, but I think this is really cool to have just in my collection for my use. She also has a creative dream spread, specific challenge spread, integrity spread, and 9-centered chakra spread, and I just think it's really cool that she included that, because these are really cool spreads that I haven't seen before, so I thought that was really neat. Another thing I like about the guidebook is that there are big pictures of the cards in black and white and a little bit of information about each card. It has the gift, the shadow, and the sadai of each card, as well as the programming partner, which the programming partner is kind of like an extra card that could go with this card and also give you an additional message, which I thought was really cool. The text in this book is a fairly good size. It's pretty easy to read, and I really like that. Even though I don't have a huge problem with reading, it is really nice to have a slightly larger text because I do have glasses and it's easier for me to read. And then she goes over the story of the person on the card. So each card is actually a face of a person, and then she goes over their story and kind of their background, just a really quick summary, and then it goes over that card's gift to you as a card, and then it also goes over questions for contemplation, which I really like, because if you're using this deck as a once just a day oracle deck for things to work on that day, or even a monthly thing, I think this could be really useful, and it goes over questions to ask yourself or journal about, and I think that's really, really awesome. So with that said about the book, I want to go into more of the deck because I really want to show you guys this. I think it's really, really awesome. Sorry, random puppy hair on the side. I have Cheweenies, so you gotta deal. So the card deck comes in a hard cardboard box, which is really nice because it will be protective of the cards, and the cards are the same size as the box, so they won't shake around a lot. Like if you're traveling with this, they're not going to be shaking around in the box, or if you want to carry them in your bag, they're not going to be making a lot of noise, which is going to be nice. The card deck itself is really awesome. The box has a lot of details, so it has this really pretty detail in the inner part. She didn't really spare any detail of really making this a beautiful and visually beautiful box and set, so I really appreciate that as a visual person. But usually you'll have decks where, here I'll use this one as an example, where it's just kind of empty in the inside, which is fine, but with hers, it just adds a little bit of specialness to the deck, so I really appreciate that. Then when you go into the deck, you are met with the same design in the back of the deck, as well as the guidebook, which sits on top of the deck when you first open it. Inside the guidebook, you have pretty much the same as the big guidebook, which is really nice, so that if you don't want to purchase the bigger size of this, you won't be left out with the information that you get in here. It's pretty much just a smaller size of this one, so that's really cool, and it goes over what is on each card and what it means and stuff like that. And then it goes over, of course, the meaning of each card, as well as the gift, shadows to die, and programming partner. And then it also has the questions for contemplation, just like in the regular book. It does also still have the spreads, so if you want to still do the card spreads that are in this book, they are in the guidebook as well, so you don't have to worry about, missing out on that. So I do think it's really cool that this is literally just a smaller version of this. Granted, this might have a little bit extra things. I haven't gone over page by page, but I do believe that this is pretty much the same as this. It's just a smaller version that will fit in your card box. Getting into the cards themselves, I was actually really impressed because the cards are pretty much a standard, like, big oracle card deck. My hands are 8 inches from the tip of the fingers to the bottom of the palm, so you can see how big the deck is. I would say it's about 7 inches long, and it's not a flimsy cardboard. This is a good paper stock. It is flexible on each card, but it's not super thin to where you're going to be worried about them taking wear and tear really quickly if you're using them a lot. But one thing that I really, really liked about this deck was that she includes a card in it that I've never seen before. You guys can see me, hi! I haven't peeled off the film because I know that once I do, it's probably going to get wear and tear from the other cards and it might get some scratches on it. But this is called the You card, where it's a mirror card and it shows you. So you are the face on the card, and I think that's really, really awesome. I've never seen this with any other deck, and I just thought that was really cool. The only downside is that it is a little bit thicker than all the other cards, so if you tend to reach for certain cards in your deck based on how they feel, you might be more apt to pick this one up than the others, but that's not necessarily a problem unless you make it a problem, so I wouldn't worry about that too much if you want this deck anyway. As far as shuffling, I always shuffle this way, and I find that it was a little bit difficult with the size of the cards, so that's kind of a downside for me, but it also might not be a downside for you guys, depending on how you like to shuffle the cards and stuff like that. The one thing that I do want to mention is, even though these cards are really big, you kind of want them to be big because the detail on each card is so incredible, because I think that she's painted these as full-size paintings and then put them on cards. So she wanted to keep a lot of the details of each card in the card itself. And each face has so much detail on it, as well as some symbols and stuff like that. So it's really a journey with each card of exploring the different animals and symbols and symbology on each card, and I really, really like that about this. All of the faces are so different. I love that she doesn't try to discriminate with, white, black, brown skin. No matter what skin color there is, it's going to be in this deck, I'm pretty sure. She wasn't biased with her artwork at all, which was really, really nice. And I just, you know, as much as I wasn't sure that I was gonna like this deck, I actually really enjoy it. I did do a couple readings last night for me and my friends, and I found that all of the cards that I pulled, as well as the spreads that I did, were really accurate for me at this time. So I do believe that this is a deck that would give you correct answers and answers that you would need to hear at this time. But having said that, I do think this is more of a card deck for pulling just a couple cards or really doing in-depth readings and inner work. So I feel like I'm going to be using this most as the deck that I use on my altar every month, because every card kind of digs deep into the story behind the character on the card, as well as what they gift to you and what they can help you learn. And I feel like that could be really good for anybody who wants to have cards that they set on their altar to work through every month, because this could be super helpful for that. So I think that is what I'm going to be using it for. But I also feel like if anybody needed to really dig deep down and work on something in a reading, I would probably use this deck. So I do think that's a really good fitting for this deck. With all of this said, I really do want to send a huge thank you to Rosy for sending me this deck and allowing me to do this review for her. I really do appreciate it, and I'm honored that you would choose me to review your deck. I do think this is an absolutely beautiful deck, as well as the energy that just comes off of it is just really, really nice. From the moment that I opened the package, it just felt really welcoming and like something that I could really work with on a personal level and an intimate level in my practice. So I do really appreciate her sending me this and allowing me to do this review. And I hope this was helpful for anybody looking into getting the deck or just wanting to know more about it, because I do think this is really helpful to see videos and stuff and have opinions about the deck when you're looking to buy it. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If it was, please give it this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!